test run.
It was. I'm so glad we did that.
All right. Hello, 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 everyone. Thank y'all for joining us today. I am so elated because today we get to share with you guys a little bit about what we have been working on in the community to just provoke change and to start a movement. And so we have our guest that's going to be sharing with you in just a couple of minutes. But she is going to be hosting our Loving the Leader in You conference taking place on the 28th of this month, February, and it's going to be at the Massanutten Resort in Mahagisville, Virginia. And so I'm sure you're wondering, a leadership retreat, what is that all about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to tell you in just a couple of minutes. So before I allow our guest to speak, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about her. She is an 11-year retired U.S. Marine Corps veteran. She has a passion for the community, and she absolutely loves being an entrepreneur. Her company, JT Inspire LLC, she founded it with her husband, and they have started to make some huge waves in the community, focusing on women, veterans, and children, and making sure they can have the emotional intelligence to be able to have a thriving life. And they do that by providing speeches, workshops, and other self-support materials. And so she has been a speaker at numerous places, some to include Olympus, Fort Lee U.S. Army Transportational Unit, Granby High School, and so many others. She's also been on national TV on CBS show The Talk. Her and her family also were on a HBO series called Through Our Eyes, where they were able to show the community just how they live and, the different things that go into having a wonderful, emotionally intelligent family. And her husband, his name is Brandon, and he is also a retired U.S. Marine. And she has two beautiful sons, Jermaine and Terry. And so, without further ado, I would like to introduce to some and present to other our host for the Loving the Leader in You conference and leadership retreat. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Serena, for having me on. I'm so honored to be here to speak with you and everyone who is listening. Taniki Richard here, and I'm always ready to serve. So let's jump into it. What are we talking about with loving the leader in you?
Absolutely. So, when I put this retreat together, the first thought I had was, how do we allow the community to reset? Sometimes we get so boggled down in day-to-day life, even things that are not healthy for us become normal to us, and we just adapt. And so I wanted to know, what is the vision and the mission of JT Inspire, and how do you guys assist the community with resetting?
Yeah. Serena, I'm so glad you asked that, but I want to give everyone a little bit of backstory, even about us, because me and you, we've been working together in the community for many years now. JT Inspire has broadened out since then. Since I think we've been going on what 10 years.
Almost 10 years, yeah.
Almost 10 years. We are coming up on impacting the community in a positive way. And I'm so honored to be here to host this new retreat that's coming up in Massanutten. It's going to be powerful. Um, I've worked with you for so long doing different events in the community, mainly because of your heart and your passion for helping people who are in need, who need resources and need to grow as leaders. And getting occupational assistance can look very different, when it comes to resume writing, when it comes to, sitting down to do interviews. Not everyone is privy or savvy in those departments. But what no one else is also thinking about is, how do you get personally prepared to be successful on the job? Sometimes we're going through so much that our emotions are everywhere, and we carry that weight and that heaviness to the workforce. We carry that to the job, and what that does is affects teams. It affects people around you, the employees that work with you and see you every day. Everybody always hear about work bay and work relationships. Well, that's very true. These people you see every single day, and you're interacting with people, even if you're in service, um, they can be a part of your next life, your other life away from home. And so, what happens a lot of times is when you carry the personal stuff to the professional side, it can be very disruptive to how you make money, how you get promotions, how you are successful overall in your career path. So, this Loving the Leader in You retreat is to help anyone and all the attendees to come that's coming there to reset and process those emotions so that you can go back to your job or your occupation and affect people in such a way that not only you grow, but they grow also. And so that's why it aligns so much with our vision in JT Inspire, because we want to empower businesses and communities around the world and and empower them to grow with greater purpose in leadership, in occupation, mental health, and of course, emotional intelligence.
You just said a mouthful. That is so true. Because a lot of people, like I mentioned earlier, you can normalize dysfunction. You can
Absolutely.
internalize stress and anxiety. And so you're not even fully aware of how you're showing up because it's become normal.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's so remarkable that you guys have taken the time to put together, a plan and resources to help people because oftentimes, identifying the wound or the hurt is one thing, but it's like once you know that you're hurt, what do you do with that? So
Absolutely.
what makes your approach unique in helping people, with gaining this emotional intelligence and being able to groom that leader that's inside of them?
You know, in my perspective, I feel like unique is exactly what our services are, because what I think makes any business or any person unique is experience and perspective. Change can only come from diversity. And I know even with the climate of today, it's so much stress in our economy and politics and our society right now in the US that a lot of people want to pull away from diversity. They don't want to talk about it in a way that is conducive to a collective whole. But that's the reason why we are all unique, because we're individuals. And because we're individuals, we have unique experiences that are only to us. Our perspectives are basically what we have gone through in our environment, and then how we process that and give it back to the world. So, what's unique about our program is Brandon and I having over 30 plus years in the Marine Corps, traveling all around the world, dealing with all kinds of people from all walks of life, and my traumatic experience and overcoming trauma from the military, and then also in my childhood, has given me a unique perspective on how principles that you use in life, they just don't change. That's why they're principles. They're hard um, truths that you can hold on to get a specific outcome. And what I've found over the years, as I've been helping people in the community, giving them advice, I mean, we're talking about hundreds of people that have come back to me and said, Taniki, this actually worked for me. Your perspective actually worked for me. Holding on to certain principles actually worked. And so that's where the birth of this emotional intelligence workshop came from, was from drawing from feedback from others who said, hey, this worked for me. And we put it in a conglomerate of a book. It took a lot of hard work from our publishers and getting professionals to kind of look at it again, giving unique perspectives there. Hey, you should add this, put this in there, make sure that this is sharp, so that we have a very great product to provide to the community, so that they can take these principles and this workshop that they're going to learn and apply it to their home life, and then eventually apply it to their leadership style.
Again, that's amazing, because so many oftentimes people that are doing these trainings and workshops have a limited lens.
Yeah.
They come from one specific background, and they deal typically with like a specific group of people. But since you guys have been able to be world travel and to just being in the military, all the different people that are, you know, under your, unit, you have to be able to adjust to different cultures, and understanding that, as individuals, the way that we grow up affects our outcomes, and where we're from plays a direct role a lot of times in how we grow up. For instance, I was watching something with Denzel Washington, and they were talking about, how do you choose the right director for a movie? And he said, well, I believe for this particular movie, Steven Spielberg, he's an excellent director, and I think he could have did an okay job. He said, however, and I don't recall the gentleman's name that was selected to do it. It was a black man, but he said he knows the culture. He knows the smell of a hot comb on Sunday morning that's burnt, because he lived in a house experiencing that. He
Yeah.
knows the smell of chitlins when you're cleaning them, opposed to someone else from a different culture, they can't identify. And so I just love the fact that you guys are so well rounded. It makes it easier to connect with people when you can truly identify with
Yep.
where they are and where they've been. So
And not
thank
only that, I would say no part of positive change comes from everyone thinking the same. A good leader knows that you're going to have a strong team when everyone is able to share their perspective and manage their emotions, so that they can intelligently speak on how they feel and what is conducive to the mission at hand or getting the task done. A good leader knows that you want to have diversity on your team, because there's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak. There's more than one way to do something. And sometimes we can have blinders on. We can be so determined in how we want to go about things that it's very important to ask for help in a way, or ask questions from others who has a different angle. As I'm standing on the left side and someone's standing on the right side, they might be able to see better on that angle. And that comes from just giving perspective a little bit. I'm a soccer mom. My son plays soccer, and I'm out there all the time. And typically they can't have a game unless there's a referee on port side and there's a referee on the other side. Um, and and I want to say that's important, because at any given time when there's movement on the ball, the referee on the other side of the field is not able to see at that angle. You see? So that's why it's important to have someone on your team that can have your back, that can actually offer a different perspective. And so it's the same in leadership, it's the same on working on the job. You don't want to do a task or complete something by yourself without your coworker or someone helping you to get that project done, if it is in fact a group project. And it's so important to be able to know how to go about that and ask the right questions, and set aside your pride, Set aside how you're feeling from whatever happened at home so that you can focus on being productive.
Absolutely. That was a really good illustration, with the coaches and just, you know, what it also says is that you're not doing anything wrong when you don't see the other perspective.
Yes.
Both coaches were engaged.
Yep.
They were both doing what they had to do. And so when you have multiple people on a team that, think forward moving, let's say that, it really makes all the difference. Everybody doesn't have to think the same. However, you do all have to possess a certain level of emotional intelligence to be a forward thinker and able to move along the organization. So
Yep.
I just want you to be able to share your contact information for anybody who may be interested. How can they get in touch with you? You're going to be at our Loving the Leader Inside of You retreat. We hope everybody can make it there. But if you can't make it and someone's interested in getting with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Go and visit www.jtinspire.com, jtinspire.com. All the contact information is there. We have a corner that can help with support networks and things like that on our page. You can also reach me at 757-761-5600. And I hope to hear from anyone who is interested in a speaker. You have a keynote speaker for veterans related, public speaker for poetry, some spoken word, or if you need a facilitator for your next emotional intelligence event, contact us at jtinspire.com.
Okay, and I'm going to put it in as JTINSPIRE.com.
.com.
All right. So we'll make sure that we put this in there for you and make sure that people can get in touch with you if they need to get in touch with you. And we just appreciate you for what you are doing. And for everybody that would like to register, we're going to put the sign up link in the chat for you to register. We have a couple of more spots available. This opportunity was a byproduct of our Portsmouth United grant. Part of our goal was to be able to provide opportunities in the community where people could, either reconnect with or identify or groom the leader inside of them. Because in order for us to be able to have the community that we want to see, we have to make sure that everybody's equipped with the tools to be successful. And so we want you guys to come register today. We only have another week left that the registration will be open. Next Friday, the registration will close on Valentine's Day. So please make sure if you're interested in coming, you register, and we'll make sure that we put the registration link in the chat. So, what are your departing words for our guest?
Oh, thank you, Serena. I just know that perspective is all about insight. Sometimes when whatever you seeing on the outside is a direct reflection of what you see on the inside. And if you're not working on what is going on with you on the inside, it can very much skew your perspective and how you enjoy life on the outside. So get connected with someone or anyone who is in that vein, not just JT Inspire, not just Serena Mann, but continue to work on yourself and help and increase emotional intelligence so that you can start living, not just living, but living well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Taniki, for giving us this awesome, awesome information today. We look forward to the conference. It's going to be on fire. So you
Yeah.
guys don't miss out. Do not miss out. February the 28th through March the 7th. That's when the retreat is going to be. On February 28th through March the 2nd, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to be having our workshops. So with the workshops, you'll get to meet Miss Taniki. We also have some other guests that will be coming and lots of fun and engaging activities. The workshop has all your materials included, your transportation, your lodging, all of that for people that live in the Hampton Roads area. You can have that included. You just let us know. You can ride with us on up there. And, we're just going to have a great time. If you live in the city of Portsmouth, Virginia, this retreat is 100% free of charge to you. So, how great is that? And I know you're thinking a week. Well, guess what? This falls under professional development. So, talk to your employer and see what we would need to provide them so that you can get paid while you come. And yes, that can happen because we do have a few people that have done just that, and they're going to get paid for coming and getting their professional development in a beautiful place with beautiful people. And you're going to get a certificate at the end of completion that you can put with your professional development portfolio. So it's just a win, 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 win all the way around. And the last piece, the icing on the cake, I know you're like, well, if the workshop is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what's going on the other days? I'm glad you asked. Most times when you do something like this, you're kind of thrusted right back into your everyday life. And so when do you really get the chance to build your action plan so that you can know how you're going to be able to apply the information? And so for everyone who can, you are invited to stay the whole week. So after Sunday, the lodging is still available. It's already been taken care of. You can stay all the way into next Friday. You can stay and go on nature walks and journal and just stay in your serene place while you build your action plan. I'll still be there. A few other people will still be there to help you brainstorm and just, put together your action plan, because when you come back, we want you to be successful and we want you to know exactly how you're going to work it out. So if you have questions, I'll put my phone number in here as well, 757-254-8156. You can always call me directly. And if nothing else, come back and just tell somebody else, because this information is amazing. I would like to leave y'all with this, sometimes you have to slow down so that you can speed up. So take that for what it is. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And we look forward to seeing you on February the 28th. Until the next time, family, you guys stay blessed.